Coast to coast, we've got two hosts to host. Welcome to another episode of the Fivecast podcast, featured exclusively on. We're here to break down and examine intricately prepared top 5 lists for your enjoyment from the Sentinel Tower and parts unknown. On your host, and the Ben Pearson.
What is going on, man?
What's
I love
going
that introduction.
Welcome to autumn, I guess, sir.
Yes, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Seasons are changing.
Well, in most of the world it is. Here in Los Angeles, things do not change too often. I believe last year, on October 1st, my now wife
Why?
took a picture of her dashboard, and it was either 100 degrees or over 100 degrees on October 1st. So things stay considerably hotter out here for way later than they should in a traditional seasonal calendar, if you will.
Interesting to note, but is there one thing out there that does change, Ben? The availability of pumpkin spice.
Yes, absolutely. That does change regardless of the blistering heat outside.
I can't think of anything more necessary in 100-degree weather than a piping hot cup of coffee with some pumpkin spice in it, like just to warm your bones.
You got it. Yep.
And so I thought we'd take a little time away from the movies and the comics and the music and just discuss the finer things in life, Ben. Maybe a little food, maybe a little drink, maybe a little wine, a little women.
Sure.
And we do top 5 pumpkin spice goodies. Ben, are you a big fan of this condiment? I guess it's slowly becoming.
You know what? I'm actually not, but
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
still. That's not going to stop me from making this list and declaring myself an authority in the matter.
I'm foreseeing somewhere in the future, like when you go to a restaurant, salt and pepper, ketchup, mustard, pumpkin spice. Like it's just going to be one of those things.
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody has at their table.
It certainly has been blowing up over the past few years. We'll put it that way.
I love the Starbucks commercials that actually feature like the pumpkin spice latte carnival or festival. Like I
Mm.
don't know if that's real or not, but if it is, that's pretty badass. Like I would go to a festival. I would donate to a festival that is only about like the celebration of pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks.
Nice.
Although I will not accept if Starbucks takes any of that money for
Yeah.
themselves. No.
Yes.
The advertisement enough is payment.
So I think we have lists, don't we? Don't you
Yeah.
have a list?
I got a pretty awesome list, Ben. Let's go ahead and start with number 5.
All right. So my number 5, a pumpkin flavored goodie, I think.
Pumpkin spice flavored goodie. Don't forget the
Well,
spice.
that's the thing is the versions on my list. Some of them are spicy. I'm gonna say most of them. I'm gonna say 3 out of 5 of them have the pumpkin spice
Okay,
aspect. The other ones are just pumpkin pie or pumpkin flavored. But let's start. Let's kick it off. Number 5, a pumpkin pie flavored vodka. Have you ever
Okay,
heard of this, Tyler? This
I
is
have, and I was concerned with how to consume it. Go ahead and
yeah.
tell us your story.
That's the thing. I mean, I've never experienced this on my own. I just did a search for ridiculous pumpkin flavored things,
Hmm.
and this was one of the ones that I saw pop up time and time again. Pinnacle Vodka, the
Yep.
brand, has a pumpkin pie flavor. They also have. I think it's called Whipped Jack, or that might be like an entirely different brand. But they have all sorts of really weird flavored vodkas. Uh, I never expected to see a pumpkin pie flavored one because that just does not. I mean, for some people, perhaps Thanksgiving is a time where you just get blackout drunk and pass out watching football.
Yep.
I think the majority of the country, or at least the traditional outlook of Thanksgiving, which is obviously associated with pumpkin pie,
And being
is
thankful, Ben.
right is more akin to eating good food and just sort of gouging yourself on or gorging yourself, I guess, on turkey and all these the massive meals that everybody makes because this is America after all. That being said, I don't think anybody's going to mix the two in this way with pumpkin pie flavored vodka. That just seems really odd to me. Like, why wouldn't you just either drink whatever it is that you actually enjoy drinking, or have an entire pumpkin pie if you want? I don't get the idea of blending those two things. What do
Well,
you? I mean, is this something that you would ever consider trying,
well,
Tyler?
let me tell you a little ditty, my friend. Went to the bar, went to the pub, the public place, and saw that little bottle of pumpkin pie vodka. It wasn't as halfway or almost empty as the rest of them were. It was actually filled to the brim.
Right.
And I was like, "Hey, what's that little guy doing there?" And bartender's like, "Nobody drinks that. It's pumpkin pie flavored vodka." I'm like, "All right, all right. What could I use to drink with that?" So I went.
Like a mixer.
I did some research. Yes, I started with some cranberry juice, and I was like, "Okay, cranberry juice, pumpkin pie vodka. It was all right. It was all right." Then I went and I dived even deeper, Ben. And I had a party. I had a party coming up at the good friends of the show, Bose's. I was
Yep.
like, I'm gonna make a drink. So I got some pumpkin pie pinnacle vodka. I got some apple cider. I got some whipped cream. I got some cinnamon and a cinnamon stick to stir it with, and I called it Autumn's Mistress. So that is a great thing to mention, the pumpkin spice pinnacle vodka, because I have made multiple drinks with it.
I'm utterly shocked and actually a little appalled that you've that you've actually had personal experience with this.
Yeah.
It sort of blows my mind. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised considering this is you we're talking about, but
Yeah.
I'm still a little shocked.
Yeah, there's secrets you don't know about me, Ben.
There
So
are.
many facets you have yet to see.
Oh, what about your number five?
My number five is the pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks. Duh.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy a little coffee every once in a while. It's a very, very sweet item. A lot of other coffee shops try to do it, and they use like syrup. I'm sure Starbucks use syrup too, but I feel like Starbucks does it the best. I mean, they're the ones that heavily advertise it and are probably responsible for the craze.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty good. It's you know, early in the morning, you just don't want to talk to anybody. Get a pumpkin spice latte. It feels like you're on the farm baling hay, or maybe putting a scarecrow together. Maybe you're cutting up a jack-o'-lantern. You're doing all this autumn stuff. And it feels
Wow.
good. Feels good.
Okay.
Pumpkin spice latte. Ben, have you
I mean, I'm
tried
not much of a I'm not much
drink
of a
this?
coffee drinker, so I've never had that. But I have to imagine it would taste better than regular coffee. So I
Well, yeah,
would.
you got your coffee base, and then you have your pumpkin spice flavor, and then you have some milk, probably steamed. It's probably very, very hot milk.
Hmm.
Probably get a little whipped cream on top there, maybe some fancy dancy sprinkles or powder or something. Quite good. Maybe you get it iced. Maybe a pumpkin spice iced. Ooh, a pumpkin spiced iced,
Nice.
like a latte. Maybe that'll be up your alley.
Okay.
Since I don't think you're a fan of the hot beverages.
Yeah, not too much, but I'll
Yeah.
take that
So,
into consideration.
all right. Moving right along. Number four, Ben.
My number four, Pringles, pumpkin pie spiced Pringles. Tyler,
Dear
did you
God.
know that these existed?
No, I didn't.
It sounds atrocious. Who
Yeah.
would eat this? If you've consumed a pumpkin pie spiced flavored Pringle, for the love of God, write into fivecastpodcast@gmail.com and let us know what this thing tastes like because I will never allow this to touch my mouth. I'll
I
tell you
want to
that.
know who invented it, like how in the lab they splice the molecules to create
Yeah.
pumpkin spice Pringles.
Yeah, and actually, that brings up a good point. So I was reading this article about pumpkin spice flavored Oreos, which, spoiler alert, are not on my list, but they
Oh
may
man,
be on
those
yours.
sound
They may be
good.
on yours. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. And this says that the phrase pumpkin spice typically refers to not to pumpkin itself, but to the spices typically found in pumpkin pie:
Right.
cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, sometimes allspice or cloves.
Mm.
So that's what we're talking about here, just
Yeah.
for the lay person who is maybe unfamiliar with the pumpkin spice craze. They're basically things that just have a ton of cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and
Yeah.
cloves and stuff in them. It sort
Yeah,
of
because I think.
conjures. It's more of like an essence of a pumpkin, not the physical taste of one. I would say,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, because the pumpkin itself, the vegetable or fruit or whatever it is, the gourd,
Right.
not that tasty. It doesn't smell good either.
Yeah. No. 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 Not at all.
Although pumpkin seeds quite tasty if you can prepare them properly. You ever just take pumpkin seeds like sunflower seeds
Okay.
or anything?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but pumpkin spice. No, I'm not a big fan, but I do know people that do that, so that's a thing for sure. Pumpkin pie spice Pringles, no, never happening. Not gonna do it.
All right. That's quite all right, but I it reminds me of that recent campaign that Lay's did, where they had like the cappuccino flavored potato chip and
Yeah, yeah.
like something else. It was like like the meat of the zebra
Yeah,
flavored.
honey chipotle.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Just mix all.
Tomato salsa flavored cotton candy potato chips.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's cotton can like the chip is cotton candy flavored, but the flavor of that cotton candy is tomato salsa.
Oh God, that's disgusting.
So you have
Oh.
to prepare one weird food before preparing the second weird food.
Oh.
My number four, speaking of pumpkin pie, it's pumpkin pie.
Okay. All
So
right.
all of the essence of a pumpkin pie, which is what we're really talking about, is right there in my top five list. I love pumpkin pie. I've loved it since it was invented when I was a kid, or whenever I first had it. I don't know. It was probably invented well before that.
Yeah.
And you can eat this stuff right out of the can, or you could bake it in like a crust and actually, like a civilized human being, eat it in pie form.
Sure.
But this is just tasty. It just reminds me of the holidays. Like I want to just jump on it and like start a relationship and marry it and have
That's one of those
kids,
things. Yeah,
everything.
it's like gingerbread, where you really don't have it any other time except for the holiday season.
Yeah, and that's why you want it all the more. Like if I was eating like pumpkin pie like in April, like at the beach, it was like, what is this? Fuck this.
Yeah.
This is not the feeling I need right now. I gotta have a sweater on. I gotta have like Michael McDonald playing in the background. Gotta have
Steve
my
Perry Christmas.
yeah, maybe my lady like just toking the fire and just eating some
Okay.
pumpkin pie.
All right.
This is like, man, if like Ben, you know what I'm talking about. Like you bring your lady, like maybe you went to like Christmas caroling or something.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are all like warmed up in the sweaters, like
Mm-hmm.
getting down to business, and you just like from under the like a secret compartment in the couch, you just bring out two hot slices of pumpkin pie, and then like
That has
the
just been festering in your couch for hours
and then she thinks
since
that
last year.
she thinks that whipped cream's gonna be for like some foreplay. No, 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 sir. That goes right on top of the pie. So you throw her. You're like unpredictable. You're exciting. You're a keeper. So take my advice, if you will.
And basically, you're just eating pumpkin pie.
Yeah, you
So,
just eat pumpkin pie. The
uh,
Rock loves pie, Ben.
okay.
The
All right.
Rock, who will soon, in an untitled project, play Black Adam.
Yep.
Racist, and he loves pie, Ben. He loves pie.
I love The Rock, so I guess I love pie.
I would love to have The Rock on to talk top five pies.
Rock pies, yeah.
Rock pies,
All
moon
right.
pies, lemon meringue. Ben, number three.
My number three is pumpkin spice fettuccine, Tyler. I don't know if you've ever heard of
Oh
this,
my
but
god.
this one I just discovered right before we started recording.
Intricately prepared.
Yes, for sure. All natural with
Wow.
all natural pumpkin infused with cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and cloves.
Well, that sounds
Try
healthy.
it with buttered scallops or sweet Italian sausages topped with Asiago cheese. All of that sounds terrible to me.
Hey,
How
you
are
want to
you
try
going
some of the
to
sausage here? Get in that pumpkin pie fettuccine alfredo.
those two tastes, pasta and pumpkin pie or pumpkin spice, should not be mixed into the same thing. I feel like those should be on opposite ends of the taste spectrum.
Yeah,
Never the two shall meet, but
right.
this pumpkin spice fettuccine is just flying right in the face of that. I can't even. No, I don't
Yeah,
think
I
so.
can. I tried to do a list like that where I was like, what weird combinations could I do with pumpkin spice?
Uh-huh.
And I would have never thought pumpkin spice and pasta
Yeah, me neither.
because that it's just I don't know. It's just something about it. Like my brain couldn't even consider that as an option.
Yeah, because like think about it. It starts out as like a hard noodle, but it still apparently has like a little bit of that pumpkin spice flavor in it, and then you have to like
Okay.
sit there and stand over a stove and like cook it and let it. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it
Wait, the
doesn't.
noodles themselves are pumpkin spice infused, or the pasta as you're cooking it, or is pumpkin spice infused?
I mean, I think the pasta itself, like the noodles, like
That,
as you know,
hmm,
if you were to just eat the noodles without cooking them, they
right.
might still have a hint of pumpkin spice flavor. I assume most of the flavor comes from putting it in water and boiling it
Yeah.
and releasing the essential oils and all that stuff. But
We just
but
enter a shampoo commercial.
yeah, you know how it is.
Well, now I'm
Uh,
thinking maybe if we switch it from an entree to a dessert and just replace all of the pasta, other than the noodles, just replace like the pasta sauce with something like chocolatey, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe like a cracker crust, a graham cracker crust, or something like that.
Okay.
Is that of any interest to you, sir?
No, not really.
Okay, good to
Um,
know.
but I
Because I
appreciate
was
the effort.
invited to your guys' potluck this Christmas, and that's exactly what I was gonna bring.
Oh man.
My number three is actually going away from food for a little bit.
Okay.
Actually, my next three are away from food,
Oh wow. Okay.
and I'm talking
This is
pump.
food specific, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it started out food specific, and then I was like, you know what, pumpkin spice can go everywhere.
Okay.
So I'm going pumpkin spice candles. Pumpkin
Wow.
spice
Okay.
candles, light those up, make your apartment smell like your family and friends having a huge fight on Thanksgiving. I'm sure it's like just a fantastic thing. That again, probably seasonal. You don't want the pumpkin spice smell and then like the beach smell all at the
Yeah.
same time.
Hmm.
Kind of confusing. Um, but yeah, have you ever experienced a pumpkin spice candle?
I have, and they're pretty fantastic.
They're too fantastic. Makes me
I
want to
think
eat them.
yeah, I think I would throw in pumpkin spice hand soap maybe as a
Ooh,
and that might be on your list. I don't know, but
something a
that
couple
would
along
be
with it.
that's not on my list, but it would have been if I decided to go with anything other than food
Right.
items. So
So we're
there's
leaving
that
the kitchen.
similar,
We're entering the bathroom. You got your pumpkin
or
spice
it could be in
candle.
the kitchen. It could be
That's
hand soap
true.
in the kitchen.
That's
Yeah,
true. Well, you got the hand soap. You got the candle. You've got the
pumpkin
shampoo.
spice toilet paper.
You got the toilet paper, so your asshole smells like pumpkin spice. You've
Uh,
got the soap, so your pores are infused with pumpkin spices.
yep, yeah, they are.
Wow, this like I don't know what it's like to be rich, Ben.
Uh-huh.
I assume
But it's
that's
gotta
exactly
feel
what
something
it's
like
like. Yeah, a
that.
little something like that. Um, are you planning on getting any pumpkin spice candles this holiday season, this
You know,
autumn?
I think we have the soap right now.
Okay.
But like I said, it's a little too hot for us to have candles at this point. But
Light those
maybe
up.
yeah, maybe at the time when it actually does decide to start cooling down, which should be I don't know, maybe sometime in February.
Right.
It'll be appropriate for us to bust those out.
Dude,
So
just make it 102 degrees, baby. You know what I'm talking about. And then you
oh
get
yeah,
on that secret compartment in the sofa and you bring out those two pieces of pie.
last year's pie.
Number two.
My number two is okay. I'm gonna call an audible here. This is I think maybe it's right there with the fettuccine as far as the most ridiculous item
Okay.
that I could find that was pumpkin spice flavored. Pumpkin spice flavored beef jerky, Tyler.
Okay.
That is
Is this real or your
no,
invention?
this is real. This is
Okay. Wow.
real. This is straight up real.
Wow.
Um, apparently, it also has a nice
Wow.
chili pepper flavor added to it,
Ugh.
which I don't. Again, what the hell are these people thinking? Like these things should not go together in any way.
What's the
Uh,
deal with pumpkin spice?
yeah, basically, I guess I did sound a little like
It's in
that.
my beef jerky.
That was
Are
not.
we supposed to be afraid of this guy?
That is dismal. I love it.
uh,
So yeah, well, what the hell? I mean, Tyler, do you eat beef jerky on a like regular beef jerky? Regular?
on the reg or regularly flavored beef jerky?
Both.
Yes and yes.
Okay.
And so when I eat my beef jerky, I usually go for the beef jerky flavored beef jerky.
Sure. Yeah.
Like just meat and salt. Like
Makes sense.
I want that high sodium intake.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll splurge on the turkey jerky.
Mm.
I'll splurge on the teriyaki jerky.
Oh, didn't know they
Um,
had that one.
but
Okay.
for some reason, if anything, the pumpkin spice jerky should be made of pumpkin, not meat. Like
Yeah.
you just like dry out some pumpkin strings or whatever you
Right.
find inside that gourd of the
It
pumpkin.
claims that it's made with real pumpkin, but
Hmm.
it's also jerky, and
Right.
it yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they like cook it inside like a pumpkin oven, like the pumpkin is the oven, and they just put
Oh,
strips
that
of meat in it.
see now we're getting into some creative stuff here because
Yeah.
that might be something where I could see that actually being like advantageous to the overall flavor of a
Yeah.
thing being cooked inside of an actual pumpkin. Like
Right.
I don't know if it would, if anything, could be able to sustain the heat necessary for like cooking
Yeah.
like a piece of chicken or something like that inside of a pumpkin. But you know, something that only deserves like or only needs like a little bit of warmth, you know, like that extra level of heat just
Right.
on the top. Maybe you put a piece of pumpkin pie in a pumpkin and heat it up in the microwave or
Oh,
something. It's
wow.
got like a little bit of that natural pumpkin feel to it, but not like overpowering, like you're actually eating a piece of the pumpkin or anything. I
You've
don't know.
just multiplied the pie by itself. It's like pi to the second power.
Oh man, yeah, we're
I
getting
mean,
this.
the pumpkins have those candles inside them every Halloween, so why not make them an oven?
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
could do it. Could do it.
Um, that was your number two. That's a pretty good idea. I think we could actually make some money off of that. Like the lesser, like maybe don't infuse the jerky, just kind of cook it in a certain way, and maybe that'll take off. But
Yeah.
my number two is actually moving again from the kitchen, from the bathroom to the bedroom.
Oh.
Pumpkin spice bed sheets and comforters. Now,
What?
this hasn't been confirmed yet. I don't know if this is a reality, but this is the dream where your sheets and your comforter, like the things you lay down to sleep with at night,
Uh-huh.
infused with pumpkin spice. So it's like falling asleep in a pumpkin patch. And you
Hmm.
just like drift off to Neverland. Um, I mean, I think it's a good idea. Like pumpkin spice infused everything. I figured, why not sleep in pumpkin spice because it's such a zest to the senses, taste, smell, now touch, and
Man,
smell and taste. I guess if
it's
you
sort
lick
of
your bed sheets.
it reminds me a little bit of like the classic Charlie Brown. It's a great pumpkin Charlie Brown
Of course. Do they have
story.
pumpkin
And
spice bed sheets in that?
no, but Linus sleeping out there in the pumpkin patch,
Hmm.
waiting for the great pumpkin to show up. It seems like he could have used a pair of those.
Well, I'm sure that blanket that he's always carrying around
Hmm.
was eventually, over the course of that night,
Hmm.
infused with pumpkin spices.
Right.
So
Just maybe not the way he intended.
I'm gonna give this idea to Charles Schultz. I'm gonna
Okay.
like kind of step away from it,
Uh-huh.
um, but I won't want the Schultz estate to enjoy that invention.
Yeah.
And I'd be the first one in the door. I'd be the first one at the whoever would be selling this, like Bed Bath and Beyond,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
you just like you would find a little display of like scarecrows and little sticks that are bound together to look like brooms, and it smells just like autumn. It's
Yep.
like September 1st. Pick up that big like 400 to 600 thread count bed sheet and comforter, and you just like Ben. Can you just imagine that cloud of just pumpkin spice entering your nostrils?
Yeah, as you enter the dream world.
Yeah, you instantly fall asleep the second you pick it up. Like there's no way you can have insomnia in these sheets.
Man, they should. I feel like they should use that as like a weapon or something in the military. Just
Chemical weapon.
flybys and yeah, and just drop those over villages, and everybody as soon as it hits people, they just instantly fall asleep.
War would be a thing of the past because everyone would just be sleeping in a sweet pumpkin spice slumberland. Ben, we've come to the number one pumpkin spice goodie this year, fall 2014. What do you have for us?
All right, so most, or actually all of them, the vodka, the Pringles, the
Oh my
fettuccine, the beef
god.
jerky, they have all been ridiculous. I'm gonna end with the number one with one of that's actually legitimate. That is my favorite pumpkin flavored thing to consume, and that is just pumpkin bread. Uh,
Oof, nice.
this is the number
Good
one,
pick.
regardless of jokiness. I could not bring myself to make a complete joke list. So I had to give the dap to the pumpkin bread,
The
um,
dap.
bringing back that
Was
old
that
phrase.
was that a 1990s R&B star by chance? The dap.
The Dap and the Brat went on tour once. Um, but man, you got some unsalted butter. You got all-purpose flour, salt,
Oh,
baking soda, baking powder, ground cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, cloves, sugar, vegetable oil, pumpkin puree, not the flavored pie filling,
of course.
and two large eggs, mother effer. You
Wow,
got yourself.
two clockers right in there, huh? Right into the
Mm,
bowl.
mm,
You spin
mm,
that up. Do you bake that
yes.
at like 425 degrees?
I think like 350, but
All
yeah,
right, all right. Sounds
gotta,
good.
gotta do what you do.
I
Uh,
love pumpkin bread, man. That is delicious. That's probably beating out banana bread. I really love banana
yes.
bread too.
For sure. I am actually not that big of a fan of banana bread, so for me it's like leagues and leagues ahead.
Yeah,
But
as far as flavored breads are concerned, pumpkin's probably number one.
Yeah, I only use nautical units of measurement when I talk about how far away, how much more I like pumpkin bread than banana bread. Leagues, I tell you.
Oh,
Leagues.
leagues. Okay. It's such a far distance.
Yes.
Gotta convert to the nautical measurements.
Oh, yeah.
Ben, trivia question last night.
Let me hear
About
it.
772. Oh, wait. Do you want to hear the question or just the answer?
Either one, whatever.
All right. Well, you already know the answer. Here it is. How long was the holding area for where the Titanic was placed as it was being built? The holding bay, like the dock.
I'm going to say
That helped.
772 leagues.
772 feet. To be more accurate, the leagues, 772 leagues. I'm not sure. I'm not a sailor.
Right.
Nor a captain. Captain, my captain.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess 500. But I was one of the guys that came closest, so cha-cha, dadapt.
Okay.
I dadapt that.
DAP, yeah. Apparently, just for our own knowledge, 1 league is 5.556 kilometers. So,
Now convert that to miles.
wait. Yahoo Answers is doing it for me. December 5th, 2008. Let's see. Let me see.
Wait, is that the last time Yahoo was updated?
Yeah, the last time this question has been posed, apparently. It's apparently around 3.5 miles.
Okay, all right.
So,
Well, then,
it's a league. Yeah.
it's interesting. So, yeah, miles and miles and miles ahead for you, Ben.
Yes.
Leagues.
Indeed.
My number one will actually solve a pretty imminent crisis that we're under, Ben.
Ooh, the crisis on Infinite Earths, perhaps?
Perhaps, but on this Earth, we have a energy crisis.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of the emissions that we produce are CO2 emissions.
Yep.
From our factories and our cars and our day-to-day activities. So I'm thinking pumpkin spice gasoline at number one. Pumpkin spice gasoline.
This is not a real thing yet.
Not
right?
a real thing yet, but possible.
Okay.
And so it's basically the same chemical consistency as regular gasoline, except you have the pumpkin spice mixed in.
Uh-huh.
And since we're kind of continuing on with our dependence on oil and gasoline, it might as well smell good as we destroy the planet and lead ourselves to an untimely death. So
I like it.
if we're gonna go into the great beyond, like just coughing up smoke, it might as well at least smell like the great smell of pumpkin spice.
But there's the question, though, right? Because we were talking about earlier, like, oh, you don't want to really be eating pumpkin spice flavored things in April. So would the pumpkin spice gasoline only be used during the holiday season?
No.
Or during fall, I guess I should say. And then like later on, like once January hits or whatever, you decide to switch back to normal gasoline and have that smell?
Well, initially, like this is about like, I don't know, 150 years in the future, but it starts as like a fad, like how the Hess trucks here around Christmas time.
Yep.
Well, eventually it'll be the Hess pumpkin spice gasoline is here. Like they'll kind of think up a better jingle for it.
Right.
And then because we become so dependent on the pumpkin spice gasoline that we'll need it all year round, so you won't have your unleaded, you won't have your medium grade, you won't have your premium anymore. You'll just be using pumpkin spice gasoline. And so like 150, 200 years from now, when the planet destroys itself, at least we'll leave like a good smelling footprint in the solar system.
For the aliens to
find. For the aliens, when they find us, they go, hey, this human race smelled pretty good.
Okay.
Nice job, guys.
That is a little more fatalistic than I thought we were going to get in this episode,
Hey,
but
I'm sorry. I just love pumpkin spice.
It works.
I love it in death. And we've crunched the numbers, Ben. That's the end of the show. Have you liked our pumpkin spice themed episode?
Oh, did I? Are you talking to me? Oh, I thought you were talking about talking. I thought that was
Who else am I talking to?
A rhetorical question to the audience.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we did well enough, especially considering I don't really frequent pumpkin spice related foods that often.
All right.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Now, audience, how do you feel about our pumpkin spice list? You can send us an email at 5castpodcast@gmail.com. You can also connect with us on Twitter. And of course, iTunes, just type in 5cast. You can like, share, subscribe, leave us a review, whatever you got to do. Ben, on the internet, where can the 5casters find you?
Easiest spot, just find me on Twitter, twitter.com/BenPairs.
Ben, take 5. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye, buddy.
Take 5.